Hi students, so you first watched the demonstration with the balloon and we saw how when we place the balloon over fire, the balloon will pop, and we're trying to answer the question of why did the balloon pop when it was placed over fire. So to help us answer that question, you looked at an online simulation where we turned on the heat lamp on the computer, and with the lamp radiating thermal energy to the beaker with the water in it, you saw how the particles started to move a lot faster, and as the particles were moving faster, their temperature was increasing. So you notice that when thermal energy is added to the particles will move around faster. And the vocabulary word that we use to describe that is that the particles have more kinetic energy. They are moving faster. Now for our third demonstration, here I have a beaker of cold water, and over here I'm going to put in hot water from my kettle, and we're going to observe and see what happens when I put food coloring into each beaker. So for the cold water beaker, I'm going to put in 2 drops of blue food coloring, and for the beaker with the hot water, I'm going to put 2 drops of red food coloring at the same time, and our job is to observe and see what happens to the food coloring for each beaker. So I'll go ahead and pour my hot water. Again, you can tell that it's hot, it's steaming. So I'll pour the same amount as the cold water. Alright, so now I'm going to pour 2 drops of red food coloring into the hot water beaker and 2 drops of blue food coloring into the cold water beaker, and you're going to observe and see what happens. So let's try to do it at the same time. Here's the first drop, and then here's the second drop. So I'll go ahead and put this white paper up so you can see it better. Please observe what's happening to the food coloring. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and describe my observations. So what I see right now is the food coloring from the blue in the cold water beaker is not really spreading around that fast. The food coloring inside the cold water beaker is not spreading around much. However, the red food coloring in the beaker with the hot water, it's already spreading around a lot, and it looks like it's dispersed into our water very quickly. Now the question is why? Why is that happening? Well, remember, inside of our beakers we have water particles, and you learn that in cooler, colder temperatures, the particles move around a lot more slowly. They move around slower, so they have less kinetic energy. While the water particles in the hot water, because it's very, very hot, the water particles are going to move a lot faster. They have more kinetic energy. So imagine when I put in a drop of food coloring into the cold water, because the water particles are moving around more slowly, the food coloring is going to spread around more slowly. However, in the hot water beaker, because the water particles are moving around with so much kinetic energy, they have so much energy and they're moving around very, very rapidly, very quickly, the drop of red food coloring is going to spread around that much more quickly because there's more kinetic energy. The particles have more kinetic energy in the hot water. Alright, so hopefully that helps you with your prediction or your answer to the question, why did the balloon pop when placed over the fire? You should know that the particles in higher temperatures are moving around more quickly. They have more kinetic energy than in the colder temperatures. Alright, thanks for watching this one.